we have 40% of our workforce that was raised child-centric. I don't want to beat that drum too much, but they see and approach work differently, and they want a different balance and a different work rhythm and a different life rhythm. And so all of a sudden, employees have demands, and we were never empowered to have demands in the past, or to be able to demand anything of our leaders. We were there to serve our leaders, and it's switched. It's switched rather quickly. That's the part that I think really got accelerated since 2020.
Thank you for tuning into Time for You Evolve for female entrepreneurs. Remember, you have what it takes to achieve greatness. Your time is now. You're here with me, you're ready to change lives, and you're ready to change the world. Isn't it time to skip over the confusion and start creating sustainable and consistent results? We're going to pull back the curtain and start giving meaning to life in this podcast. Time for You Evolved. Hey, my name is Lisa Carmichael, and I am obsessed with everything online. It's no secret, in this crowded and highly competitive business world, we need to stand out. It's even more important at a deeper level to stand up for ourselves. I am a farm girl who grew up shy with zero confidence. If someone had suggested that I would eventually start a podcast, I would never have believed it. As a farm kid, I had the unique opportunity to embrace a holistic approach to life. All the seasons of growth were lessons that have helped me and other female entrepreneurs find success when they've been stuck and struggling. The Time for You Evolve podcast is here to help you navigate business online so you can be laser focused and help you navigate the messy and the magical in every season of your business. Pull up a seat to hear the tried and true secrets that other female entrepreneurs like you are facing, and get ready for real talk while you learn. This is the Time for You Evolved podcast. Hey there, entrepreneurs, ready to work smarter, not harder? Then you're in for a treat. Let's talk about video marketing, the smart approach that attracts, retains, and converts faster than any other strategy out there. Hey, I get it. Video marketing can be daunting. You know, you should be doing it, but you're not quite ready to take that leap, or you're frustrated because you're not looking like a pro. Hey, I get it. Who can blame you? Creating videos can be frustrating, time-consuming, and downright intimidating. That's where Big View comes in. It's the solution for your frustration. With Big View, you can create professional videos with ease thanks to its teleprompter app. I've been using Big View for years. Did you know that? Big View is an app that has saved me a lot of time and hassle. The app makes it easy to create professional looking videos. It's an online teleprompter that allows the presenter to keep eye contact with the camera while reading the text they need to speak. Using a teleprompter app allows the reader to sound natural without cue cards or notes to fumble or looking down while you're speaking. And the best part is that Big View allows you to focus on your performance and delivery so your confidence shines through. You get to keep eye contact with the camera while you're reading your script. Whether you're a marketer, a blogger, a trainer, a freelancer, a publisher, or business owner, Big View is designed with you in mind. If you're ready to take your video marketing game to the next level, click on the Big View link on my website, lisarcarmichael.com/bigview. Join me and be the best presenter you can be and learn how to make great presentations. And that's lisarcarmichael.com/bigview. Barb, I'm really, really grateful for you, and I'm thankful for you to be here. And Time for You, it's a podcast for female entrepreneurs. You and I have something very much in common, that we both left corporate. I did not realize you have an accounting background. You were a
I do.
CFO.
Yes.
Okay, that is so fun. Oh my gosh, my life thinks in Excel.
It's crazy because if it is not in columns with headings and a in some sort of Excel shape, I can't think it through. It's so crazy. I want to introduce you, Barb, real quick. You support leaders while they navigate today's unique workplace. Barb loves to bring disruptive solutions to the table, and there isn't an Excel spreadsheet big enough to capture all the moments. Her superpower is bridging the gap between different viewpoints. Now, I know this all didn't happen overnight. So, Barb, if you would be so kind, I would love to have you reintroduce yourself and tell us, what did your career path look like?
Oh, sure. Probably similar to most people's, where it's up and down and back and forth and never a straight line, right? I kind of fell into accounting, actually. I was a young single mom in college, and I was most needing security. And I knew that no matter what the economy would do, this kind of, maybe I was a natural accountant and I didn't know it, but you always need someone to run financials in a company, no matter what the economy is doing. So I kind of fell into it, and found I had a knack for it. I had a knack for the structure and the order and the numbers, but I was always the one that didn't act like the accountant. So no one, and that's not disrespecting accountants at all, just people never quite knew what to do with me because I was a bit more of a people first person. And so I started out at very large multi-billion dollar companies, worked my way, down to kind of smaller companies, higher titles. And it was really bringing out potential that I loved most. I really loved reordering and rearranging workflows so that someone, no matter what their job was, it could be accounts payable, but they would own things end to end and feel like they were empowered in it. And that's why in my intro you mentioned building bridges. I often, finance is a service function, and I often could see the other leaders' point of view and I could see employees' point of view. And I usually could kind of just scan and see like there's a middle ground here. I'm not usually convicted on any one extreme or another. And so I found myself just naturally bringing people to the middle for solutions. And I like to look at things differently. In the books, I color inside the lines, but the way I bring information forward and help people grow is kind of outside the lines. So kind of a unique balance, I guess.
I love it. And I love how you meet the people in the middle because when you're in corporate, it is such a structured atmosphere. Yeah, you have to play by the rules. And if you don't, they think you're different and then you're treated differently. And unfortunately, I don't know about now, but I feel like if years ago I would have just embraced that uniqueness, I could have had a different career track. That's what is so beautiful about being an entrepreneur is because you learn more about yourself.
You absolutely do. I had a business coach that said having a child and starting a business, those are two of the most deep, like personal development exercises you can go through. She's right. She's right.
I would love to hear some of your things that you have going on. You're a public speaker.
Yes, I am. I kind of, going to see a theme here, Lisa. I kind of fell into that as well. When I first started my entrepreneurial journey, I was really leaning kind of in the life coach direction because here I was, a midlife empty nester woman, and I was kind of really realizing that I wanted life to go differently. And I had had some experiences and some certifications that helped me do that. And I wanted to help other women. So while I'm trying to charge up that hill and help women that wanted the help but didn't want the help, you know what I mean? Over here on the other side, I kept getting asked to speak on leadership, and somewhat randomly too. People saw my background and my experience, and it I kind of fell into that. And after, I don't know, 6 or 7 times, I thought, wait a minute. There's some demand here for something that I'm good at. So maybe I need to take a closer look at that. And so I learned a bit more about the business of speaking. I'm got split between event speaking at conferences or for associations or organizations, and then taking that internal to a company and either speaking one time or coming in and just doing a really mini training program. Especially with even the biggest companies right now have a lot of layoffs happening. There's tighter budgets, and so they don't want a consultant coming in for a year and a half. They want a quick hit, and so that's what I'm good at.
That's awesome. We had this conversation where I told you when I left corporate, I cut my ties off completely. I admire you for keeping those connections so that you can go back in and you can offer support and advice to that corporate environment because now you've seen both sides.
Right. I don't think it's ever too late. If you've cut connections, I think that part of this is reinventing yourself. And I have people reaching out that I worked with 10, 15 years ago that we've not been in contact, but they're seeing me on LinkedIn and they're seeing, I guess there's credibility now. They're seeing what I'm teaching and they just think back to, well, I liked working with her and now I'm seeing who she is today. So they're putting the pieces together themselves.
That is so true. When if you're bringing out the potential of other people, it really is opening them up to the conversation and seeing themselves in a different light. And is that your secret?
Ooh, I think my secret is, yeah, helping them see it for themselves.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just like class where someone's talking at you. But I
Mhm.
think I just have a way of talking with someone and asking questions based on what they're thinking and helping them think out loud and think it through. That's one of the things I get the biggest kick out of is seeing an aha moment, whether it's just in an individual conversation
Mhm.
or an audience in a group. So yeah, very rewarding.
That's when your coaching skills kick in.
I think so. So the life coaching wasn't wasted. I didn't take that on as my path, but even speaking with a leader who isn't sure what he or she needs to bring into the workplace, it helps engage that conversation and dig down and find out what they need because I customize quite a bit. I don't think today's culture is a one size fits all culture. And so it's really important to know the particular dynamics of an organization and what their challenges are so that I can take my knowledge, but cherry pick the pieces of it that they most need.
And are you seeing that being something that holds people back? Is that culture piece, that the culture piece holds them back from getting results that they need within the business?
Yes, more so often than not. And it's usually something they don't realize. So I talk
Mhm.
about that a lot about how the culture informs the workplace. And it's not necessarily the generations, but if you take a certain age and go up, and I'm in that group, we were raised in hierarchical homes with an authority structure, and that spilled over into the workplace into the 70s, 80s. It started to transition into teamwork and collaboration. And we've been in that camp for so long that people think that that is how you get results. And now it's swinging towards individualism with a significant portion of the workplace being raised in child-centric homes. They just approach work differently and they don't see the authoritative hierarchy. So leaders need to adjust because it's not the teamwork that we want, it's the results. So that you have to change your approach to get results differently.
I've
Wow.
never thought of it that way before. I've always known that, but I didn't realize it really is that the change, everything has evolved so much. That's really a cool way of looking at it. That it's more of on the culture side because I, like you, I was raised in that hierarchy. And I always looked up to the president of a company. And I thought them as more of a father figure, that masculine energy.
Well, and
Cool.
even you can even see it if you go back and watch older movies. We recently watched 9 to 5, which was right around 1980 or the early 80s. And, they called the boss Mr. Hart, and there was fear there. And he wasn't trying to get the best out of people. He was just giving orders. And we have leaders today that were raised in that work culture. And so they're
Mhm.
not understanding why the shift is necessary or why people don't fall in under that. So yeah, it's a lot to think about because it's changed rather rapidly.
Define what you mean by it's rapidly.
Well, I mean, the change to the team and collaboration was more gradual, but we've been there for so long. I think the culture was becoming more individualistic, but then the pandemic amplified it and
Mm.
accelerated it along with another generation entering the workforce. we have 40% of our workforce that was raised child centric. I don't want to beat that drum too much, but they see and approach work differently and they want a different balance and a different work rhythm and a different life rhythm. And so all of a sudden, employees have demands, and we were never empowered to have demands in the past or to be able to demand anything of our leaders. We were there to serve our leaders, and it's switched. It's switched rather quickly. That's the part that I think really got accelerated since 2020.
It did. I like the way that you're thinking. It's completely different way of thinking that I've thought before. And I kind of rebelled with the childcare because I became a stay-at-home mom. I left corporate to try something different. So that whole generation, I kind of missed out on. So it's very interesting. Do you have certain topics that you speak on? Do you have themes?
I do have some specific ones that are somewhat plug and play that I just kind of tweak for the appropriate audience. One of them is retain your rock stars. And that's where I help leaders teach their employees how to quit. Again, I like things that are unconventional. A lot of times we get surprised by emotional or reactive resignations, and that doesn't help the company or the employee. So I actually walk them through how to have that conversation so it's not awkward and actually really logically assess when it's time to move on. And so it helps them retain their best employees longer. So retention is one. I do some teamwork ones. I do one particularly for women that is about smashing superwoman syndrome. And even just talking about barriers to entry for women. It depends on the audience and it depends on the need, but goal setting, retention, and teamwork are probably the most popular.
I would love to attend any of those.
Thank
Sounds
you.
good. Did you go through training to become a speaker?
I did. I was doing it anyway, but I know that there's a technique to it and there's a business to it. In one of my entrepreneur circles, like you're a fellow entrepreneur, so you know how important those circles are. And you meet the
Definitely.
most amazing people. And one of them was a woman who is a TEDx speaker, and her whole business is designed to teach people how to get paid to speak. And so I took her boot camp and learned more of the techniques, information about where to apply, how to apply, and creating a speaker reel, all the things that just the back end stuff that you need to know besides being on stage and knowing how to navigate being on a stage. I think that some of training is ongoing too. I've followed her subsequently and had a personal VIP day with her, but I think ongoing training, I'm always just looking at articles and things to hone my craft.
If you were to give advice to someone who was just switching from leaving corporate and becoming that entrepreneur and they really knew what they wanted, they had their focus, any advice that you would give someone who's just getting started?
Absolutely. I think when you leave corporate, and when you leave anything really to become an entrepreneur, you can be really crystal clear and you will still find things very unexpected. And like you said, there's a lot of personal development involved. So if you are moving into something that is a service you provide, not necessarily a product, like making candles or cutting hair, and cutting hair is a service, but if it's a consulting or a coaching type of service, almost everyone I encounter has a switch in their focus, whether it's the health and wellness field, corporate, midlife coaching. There's always a switch. So I think give yourself a really strong, long lead time and learn what the cycle time is, the sales cycle. So for me, for example, in January, February, I was meeting with people from companies that I met back in September. People don't download a course or watch a webinar or meet you and then in their office next week. It's a long lead time, and it's like a 6 to 8 month. So we're having conversations now for me possibly speaking and training this summer or next fall. So when you look at the whole thing, it's a year. And someone recently gave me the advice of how a lot of times as new entrepreneurs, we're told, try out a strategy for a month. And when it doesn't work, switch and change direction. Well, if someone's not showing up for another 8 months and now you're on to something completely different, nothing will ever stick. So now I'm talking about a different topic, or I'm trying to reach a different audience, and nothing looks consistent. So that's my long-winded answer to really give it the appropriate amount of time and consistency before you shift and make a change. Because chances are there will be some direction that it takes you in a different direction of what you are offering, but you really need to give your market a long warm up.
I really love that. And I'm sincere when I say that because I truly believe that we don't spend enough time creating our vision and reviewing our vision because those cycles do show up. If you don't know, if you don't have that path laid out, all of the shiny objects will gravitate towards you. And you do want to learn a lot of things as you move along, but you have to be centered in something. And if you're not centered in your vision, then you will be thrown off. I wholeheartedly agree about that business has different cycles and that we do need to be prepared for them. And sometimes we can't be, and that's part of it and being okay with when we don't know.
Exactly, because you learn really quickly what you don't know. And one thing that I've said really often is being an entrepreneur is it's very lonely and it's very noisy at the same time. So you're on your own, which is why it's important to engage in an entrepreneur community. But it's also very noisy because you will see on any given day all these opportunities, to sign up for this and purchase this coaching program and do this, learn how to get leads, and people will find you. And I think if there's any other advice I could give, really dip your toes in free resources first before you jump all in and liquidate any cash you have for your business, because there's organizations, SCORE, for example, they have free mentors, free business mentors. They are nationwide. You can find someone that is similar to you or a similar background or business type. There's a lot out there that you can get for free. You might have to do a little work yourself to piece it together, but try to exhaust some free and low cost resources before you sign on for, a 5-figure program before you know what you're doing.
I love SCORE. SCORE is a wonderful organization. Thanks for reminding me of them. I've worked with them a couple of times and they've been really, really helpful. There are a ton of resources out there. And I would love to know from you, Barb, do you have anything exciting happening in your business right now?
I do actually. One of the things that I really, really love, I run in a lot of entrepreneur circles. And even though my clients tend to be corporations or associations, I really have a heart for smaller organizations that don't have the big corporate budgets. Big corporations, I've worked there. There's nothing wrong with that, but they have a lot of internal resources and they can hire big consulting firms. And I think that good resources should be available to any business size at all. So I love coming in to the smaller ones and supporting and not having it be a large, expensive commitment. More and more lately, I have been hearing more entrepreneurs say, I have this expertise. I know how to teach fitness, or I know how to teach healthy eating. I don't know how to run a business and I don't know how to lead people. I'm scaling and I have to hire people. And I'm not a business coach. I have wonderful women in my network. So if you need a business coach, I can point you in their direction. But I teach leadership. And one of my corporate classes is for the new managers and the new manager mindset. So what I have in the works right now, I'm really excited about taking that and adjusting it so it's appropriate for entrepreneurs and accessible. So it's really 6 modules and it covers everything from interviewing and hiring to performance management to team development, building trust. How do you deal with conflict or difficult, communication? So I have 6 different topics and I want to bundle it so that people can either just purchase a single one and maybe they just need to learn that and practice that before they move on, or if their budget is constrained and they can't do the whole program, or just bundle it and allow people to access all of it. And so that's coming soon, late spring, early summer. And what I would love is to get entrepreneur feedback. So right now, if you go to my website, it's barbmonson.com. It's Monson. Boy, that had a Minnesota accent to it, didn't it? barbmonson.com/waitlist. And you aren't committing to anything being put out there. I am not going to chase you down and put you on an email list. What I want to know is how would people most like to consume this content? Do you want live sessions as a group where they're interactive? Do you just want to download a course? What would be a fair price range for a single class, a group? What just kind of, it's your chance to design your own and really give feedback to me so I can create it in a way so there's no barrier to entry. So that's what I'm excited about, bringing leadership skills to those who are new to expanding their business and they don't have that leadership background.
Are you putting together a survey to build this?
Excellent question. When you go to barbmonson.com/waitlist, it's a form that you fill out. So you enter your information. And again, I'm not going to put you on an email list, but you get to select your options. I would really like to take this as a downloadable course. Nope, I want a workshop. I want live. Here's a price range I think I could afford or would be fair for this. And so I can then meet the greatest need when I see where people are at.
Wonderful. I'm excited. It sounds like there's a lot of potential. So as a marketer, I'm always concerned about positive ROI and helping other entrepreneurs ensure that what they're doing is just not an expensive hobby. How did you overcome that hobby of, I think I'm going to go be a public speaker, I'm going to be a speaker, and turn that into something that became an income for you?
This is a huge area, I think, for all entrepreneurs, because at some level, regardless of your business, you need to market yourself, right? And this is where it's really easy to just hire someone for that. But most new entrepreneurs don't have that kind of capital. So for me, I knew I needed to learn some basic marketing skills. And I did hire a marketing coach for that because I come from finance. I know numbers and not words. And I don't know the technical skill of marketing. It was good and bad, I think, to do that. It was really good because I learned really good basics. But I think I was in it for so long that I wasn't honoring myself. I was following direction. Like, you should go to this event, have this kind of booth, offer a webinar. These are all lead generation activities. But then when I took a step back from it, and this is just my personal experience, I learned that I don't like it when I create webinars, go to events, and try to bring people to me. I naturally meet people where they are. That's part of what I do, is coming to them. And it took me far too long to realize that, to kind of go with my natural tendencies, and then the marketing kind of fixes itself. So as far as positive ROI, I think bringing people to me for too long didn't work. It wasn't income generating. Once I stopped paying for event booths and just started showing up at events where my ideal client resides and having natural, authentic conversations, showing interest, and not expecting that they're going to sign up for a webinar the following month, it's allowing those months of conversations to now take place. It's long, slow marketing, but that's what works in my field. That and being very consistent on LinkedIn, always delivering content that's informational, helpful, an aha moment, something to think through, and just engaging with people there. So people see me consistently online, and then I'm just trying to be naturally authentic when we meet. So it's kind of a different strategy. I scrapped my email list, which I know to marketers is a terrible thing to say. But my email list was people that would come up and enter a drawing for a fun gift basket, and they had no interest in leadership consulting. So instead of rebuilding it, I'm just authentically meeting people.
That works. The biggest change, what I heard, is instead of always taking in, you started putting things out into the industry. I think we get into the habit of we have to learn and pull in and pull in. And when we realize it's time to put our skills to work, that's when the change happens.
100%. You said that beautifully.
If you had to start everything over again as an entrepreneur or even starting corporately, all over again, what would you do differently? What would that little voice inside of you tell you?
I told myself I didn't need to have a business plan because I have a strong business background and I understand business. And I'm not saying that that was necessarily wrong, but I did not spend enough time understanding some of the overhead and infrastructure that was necessary for a business. I had this idea, formed an LLC, and I was off and running. And it's like giving a toddler scissors, right? And along the way, I learned that you need to protect the house legally. If you're going to say or do certain things, you need to have trademarks in place. You need, in some cases, you need business insurance, not always, but there's also a difference between an operating profit or loss and a tax profit or loss. And you can only have tax losses 3 out of the first 5 years, or the IRS doesn't allow that to be a business. So I think just keeping in mind, what are some of the costs that I would have, like legal costs, infrastructure costs, and assigning some of the tax stuff that you don't see as cash, but just like a portion of my cell phone, making sure that I am planning my revenue properly to cover all of that so that I'm not falling into issues. So that sounded really long and boring and financy, but I think having a clearer head up front of what all is actually entailed in running a business, even though it's a service and it feels like all you need is a laptop and a phone, you actually need a lot more than that.
You do. And it does become overwhelming. And that's why we need each other to talk through things, because it doesn't have to be such a lonely journey.
Right, right, exactly. That's why I love what you're doing here, Lisa.
How do you spend your time? When I came up with the name of the podcast, Time for You, I found myself spending so much time with everyone else instead of spending time with myself. And I'm just curious, as an entrepreneur like yourself, how do you spend your time?
I have a blend. I love that question, by the way. I keep a blend of disciplined corporate hours and structure with the flexibility of an entrepreneur. So what that means is I don't get to the office. I used to get to the office at 6:30, 7 in the morning and in work until dinner and then have to commute home. And now I allow time to, I get up at 5, but I go to a gym and I'm in like a small group training class. So it's always scheduled. It's always there. I have accountability. So I go to the gym, I come home, I do morning devotions, I have my coffee, I have my breakfast, and I start work like between 8:30 and 9, which would have been unheard of for me in the olden days. But I work a solid day. I stay in fifth gear all day, but I also protect my balance much more than I did in the corporate world.
Mhm.
When you know as well as I do, in our world, everybody wants to have coffee, right? We could make coffee dates and networking full-time jobs. I protect my time and I only allow for that on Fridays. And so Friday is an admin day. If I'm working on my financials for my business, if my website needs updates, the things that you could easily just do and not do your work, I only do those on Fridays so that the other days are focused on the things that I create content, I serve clients, apply for speaking gigs, prepare for speaking gigs, things like that. So I've got just kind of a nice rhythm.
And that's really what it's all about, is that rhythm and that momentum. Because once the momentum starts picking up, it's really easy to drive a little bit faster.
It is. And it's also easy that the lines are very blurry between home and work. So that's where I
Mm.
do try to keep office hours and not just log in on Saturday and do a quick thing here and there. I find that I'm sharper when I have boundaries.
I love boundaries. Boundaries are so important.
They are. I love them too.
I used to be afraid of boundaries, and I always thought boundaries were bad, but boundaries really protect us and keep us in line, and they protect us from ourselves, from doing things that we shouldn't be doing or could be doing for our business. So,
100%
well
agree.
said. Well said. Well, I love how you spend your time, and I love how you value your time, and I value your time too. And I wanted to say thank you so much for joining me today here on Time for You for Female Entrepreneurs. Any other advice that you want to share today? I know you've given a ton of pieces here and there, but is there anything else that you wanted to share with us? I think you nailed them all.
Well, well, thank you. And thank you for having me here as well. I think any parting advice is learn from the experts. I mentioned getting the freebies, right? Go get the freebies, learn from the experts, but be careful of just following their checklist. Like if it's a step by step, do these 5 things, and it's not authentically you, it's really easy to fall into that trap because they're making money doing that. And
Mhm.
sometimes we fall into desperation is not a nice word, but when you're trying to grow and you're new, it is you feel a little bit desperate to get that first sale. Take everything with a grain of salt. Learn from the pros, but don't copy the pros.
Exactly. Be yourself and embrace your unique capabilities.
People will buy you for you. They're buying you, right?
They really are. And I don't know why that's been such a hard thing for female entrepreneurs to grasp, why that holds them back instead of moves them forward. But hopefully today, after listening to the podcast, maybe that little light will flick.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me to join you and your audience. This is just absolutely delightful what you're doing, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you. What an honor. It was so great to dig in deep with Barb Monson. I met Barb through an entrepreneur group. She's currently the president right now of the Women Entrepreneurs of Minnesota. I've been part of this organization for a few years. I am always happy to support other female entrepreneurs. Her website is barbmonson.com.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Time for You for Female Entrepreneurs. If you loved this episode as much as I did, head on over and rate and subscribe so you never miss an episode. New episodes drop every week, and if you want to support the show, leaving a review goes a long way. A special shout out to our amazing partners and sponsors. Their support allows us to continue bringing you engaging content every week. And with that, a big thank you. I look forward to seeing you next time. If you're ready to supercharge your email marketing and automation game, look no further than my favorite autoresponder, Active Campaign. It's the ultimate all-in-one platform designed to turn your contacts into customers and your customers into loyal advocates. Imagine having a tool that not only understands your customers, but anticipates their needs. That's what Active Campaign does. With its powerful customer experience automation, you can create personalized journeys that nurture leads, drive sales, and build lasting relationships. The biggest reason I chose Active Campaign after trying other autoresponders is because I wanted to make sure my emails were being delivered and not going into spam. I need to know that my emails actually get to the people I'm emailing so that I have good engagement rates, response rates, and click-through rates on every email I create. Then I can have peace of mind that what I send out about my blog posts or upcoming events gets delivered and that people get to read what I write. And since it's just me, using Active Campaign saves me a bunch of time because I've been setting up automations that I can just drag and drop, allowing me to save hours of time. Not only have their pre-built automations and integrations saved me time, I'm able to power a personalized marketing plan throughout the customer's life cycle. In the end, I really want to personalize my message and make sure that each person is getting a unique email tailored to them because I don't want to be sending bulk cookie cutter emails. I want to make sure that my customers and community is getting things that are tailored to them as much as I can. Email marketing doesn't have to be crazy where you're not just pushing information. Active Campaign teaches you how to be pulling information as well. I appreciate the value I've received from Active Campaign when it comes to creating and managing email campaigns. The support through webinars, live chats, and live study halls have been very helpful in maximizing their platform and a great alternative to those other email services I've tried in the past. ActiveCampaign allows me to build a business without relying on advertising. It has simplified my marketing processes, saving me time, which allows me to focus on what I do best, serving my customers. Whether you're a small business or just starting or a seasoned entrepreneur, ActiveCampaign scales to meet your needs and grows with you. If you're ready to up your marketing game, go to my website, lisarcarmichael.com/activecampaign. That's my partner link, and sign up for a free trial. Experience firsthand the power of ActiveCampaign and take your marketing to a new level. Don't miss out. Stay ahead and stay automated with ActiveCampaign. Go to lisarcarmichael.com/activecampaign for your free trial. Hi friends. Today let's have a heart-to-heart about something that's been a significant part of my life, skincare. As a busy female entrepreneur, I need a skincare routine that's quick, easy, and super effective. Turning 60 didn't bother me because I've been taking care of my skin every day for 20 plus years. I didn't always, but I'm glad I did start when I did. Let's fast forward to 1 year ago, and let me tell you about a game changer for me. I stumbled across my secret weapon, Droplet. Droplet is not your typical skincare company. It's a revolutionary approach that delivers personalized monthly skincare subscriptions tailored to your specific skin type. The magic lies in the Droplet Micro Infuser, a device that creates microscopic droplets from formulated capsules, expelling them at a high velocity to infuse ultra-concentrated active ingredients deep into your skin. Now, I'm a self-proclaimed skincare junkie. I've tried it all, from serums to spa treatments, and even once selling a natural body care line. So when I heard about Droplet, I knew I had to give it a shot. I can confidently say it's made a remarkable difference in my skin and my routine. The Droplet Skincare Micro Mist Infusing Device is a game changer. It uses a gentle mist to penetrate ingredients 20 times deeper through micro mist technology. It works with formulated capsules similar to an espresso machine, allowing you to infuse the treatments that are right for you into, not just onto, your skin. Here's how Droplet works. Choose your serum, collagen, retinol, glycolic acid, or maybe a lip plumper. Insert the capsule, hold the device to your face, and press the button. A fine mist of the serum is released onto your skin, targeting your face, your neck, chest, anywhere you want to focus on. These misting capsules have transformed my skincare routine. The results are incredible, from increased resilience to fading hyperpigmentation. Why do I love Droplet? It's quick, easy, and the capsules are recyclable. No cleanup, no hassle. And here's the bonus. Droplet's formulas are clinical strength, dermatologist recommended, cruelty-free, sulfate-free, paraben-free, gluten-free, soy-free, fragrance-free, and vegan-free. It's a skincare lover's dream. If you're looking to level up your skincare routine and evolve beyond the basics, Droplet is your answer. Plus, they offer free skin consultations with their estheticians to address your skin concerns. Investing in a good skincare routine and self-care is crucial for any woman, especially us busy entrepreneurs. First impressions matter, and you want to put your best face forward. It's time to evolve and embrace the next level of skincare. Head over to the Droplet link on my website today, where you can start your own personalized Droplet routine. Here's to glowing, radiant, and fiercely beautiful you, no matter what age you are. Go to lisarcarmichael.com/droplet.